It's 1936. I'm going to the park with my nanny, Ati. We're walking down the street close to the park, and I saw signs. Ati and I got to the park. New signs, no dogs allowed, no Jews allowed, no Jews allowed. We went home. Two years later, it's November 9th. We had a party last night for my papa. It was his birthday. My tantas were there and my ama, and it was a nice birthday party. But today, just while I'm looking at the glassware on the table, the knock on the door. Two men with brown shirts, Gestapo. They're at the door, listening to my mama. She opens the door. What's going on here? What were you doing last night? Why do you have all that glassware on the table? What were you celebrating? She said, we were celebrating Sep's birthday. Everybody knows Sep. You know Sep. That's what we call him. Celebrating his birthday. They looked around. They left. It was scary. 2 hours later, we hear people outside of our house, loud, yelling. Mama grabs me by the wrist. She takes me upstairs to the second floor. We have renters on the second floor. We're going to hide in the closet. Mama told me to be very quiet. Don't say a word. She's rubbing my hand and trying to make me feel relaxed. Daddy's not home. He's at work. We hear glasses breaking. All kinds of noise. Books falling on the floor. Dishes breaking. We hear them throwing furniture around. My piano fell on the ground. All of a sudden, a renter, he's Christian, but he went downstairs and he said, what are you doing here? There's no Jews in this house today. Finish your nonsense here and be gone. We went back upstairs. We heard the door shut. We waited a few more minutes. Mommy and I went downstairs. First we saw they came in through my grandmom's window. They took a knife, a dagger, and slashed the bed right through the middle. If my Oma had been here, she'd be dead. Our house, my beautiful house, is destroyed. All the glasses, china, everything's on the floor. Dining room, broken chairs. My toys thrown around, broken. Mama found out. Sep's been arrested, she said to Ati, and I heard her. They took him to jail, but they rounded up all the other Jewish men and boys into the middle of town and took them away. I hope my teacher wasn't in that group. I love school. I don't know how we're ever going to live here again. Mama said she's going to try and get daddy out of jail, but it might take some time. And the only reason they took him to jail was because they know him. He didn't have to go with the other men and boys. Daddy wrote Mama a letter. He said, I need to go to Bonn. That's a town next to ours. And we have friends there. She wants me to live there and stay there and go to school there until it's safe to come home. I've never been without my mommy and daddy before. This will be the first time. I don't want to go. I know she needs help. I know she needs me to be here, but I'll go. I got to Bonn. My friend Annalisa lives there, and I'm going to go to school here. My school was set on fire with the synagogues. We went outside the day after all that crashing happened in our house, and there was glass and broken furniture, and every store had glass broken. I dream about it at night. I'm going to school in Bonn, but I'm going to write my daddy a letter. Mama will get it to him in jail. Daddy, I really want to come home. I think Mama needs my help. I don't want to stay in Bonn. Please think about letting me come home. Sent a letter to Mama to give to Daddy in jail. And Daddy wrote back. 2 days later, I got a letter. Dear Liesel, you can't come home. It's not safe. We can't stay here. And you have to stay in Bonn until we find a way to bring you home. My mama worked really hard to get Daddy out of jail. It took 6 weeks. She said she had to pay the policeman off to get him out of jail. They wrote me a letter. I've been here now 6 months. It's not easy in Bonn. There's swastika flags everywhere. I went home, and our house, my lovely, dear house, is boarded up. Mom and Daddy knew that there was a ship that was going to sail for Cuba. And they made arrangements to get on that ship, all three of us. It's May. And we're going to Berlin. It's 1939. We're going to Berlin to say goodbye to my Oma and my aunts and my uncles, to everybody. Daddy had applied for what he said, a quota number to get into the United States. And our quota number was low. But my aunt and Oma's quota numbers are very high. So it might take a long time till I can see them again. Bye, Oma. I love you. I hope to see you soon. Bye, Günther. Günther's my favorite cousin. I love him like a brother. We're off to Hamburg. Hamburg's where the ship is leaving from. Hamburg is different. There's all kinds of people here, all colors of people. They speaking different languages. There's sailors everywhere, soldiers. And you see the ship. It's beautiful. We have only 5 marks that we were allowed to bring with us, but Mama sent all of our clothes to the ship. We're getting ready to board the ship. And he is standing there, the captain. He's wearing a white uniform. He's a very important man. He's got his crew with him. Guten Tag. Hello. How are you? Hi there, sweetie. I hope you enjoy the trip. We all got lined up around the rails, waiting to say goodbye. People are waving, but there's nobody to wave to. There's nobody waving back. The ship pulls out. And it's a beautiful day. And everybody is all polite. It's all the German crew. They're just really nice. It's like the old Germany. While we're sailing, mommy lets me roller skate on the deck. I can watch movies. I love Shirley Temple. She speaks in English, but they have German subtitles. I can watch Shirley Temple all day and all night. I can eat anytime I want, and I can do whatever I want to do. We left Hamburg on May 12th, and we're almost in Cuba. It's been 15 days. I see colors, colorful houses, palm trees. Never seen a palm tree in my life, ever. And I have to draw it. Captain's giving instructions. We're getting ready to pull into the port. There are people waiting for us there. Some people went ahead. Their families went ahead. Well, we're waiting. Some families got off, 20 families got off, and then everything stopped. Why do we stop? The captain gave us instructions of how to, he's called it disembark, but nothing's happening. We wait hours and hours and hours. We can't get off. The Captain Schroeder, he talked to my daddy. He asked my daddy if he would form a passenger committee so that he could relay information to the passenger committee. And that way they would not have to hear information from a German soldier captain. My daddy knows everything. He's in charge of the passenger committee. And I hear him and mommy talking. Something is wrong with our landing permits. We were sold phony landing permits, according to the Cuban government. They won't let us off. Maybe it's true what Hitler says. Nobody wants the Jews. We stay. We're in the harbor. Boats are coming out with people waving to their friends on the board. People are getting frustrated. They're nervous. One man jumped off the ship. He tried to commit suicide. The sailor went after him, jumped in and brought him back. People are very sad, waiting. The passenger committee is working with the Jewish Joint Distribution Committee. It's headed by a Mr. Morris Chopra. He's working with President Roosevelt to see if we can get into the United States early. Now, I continue to hear mommy and daddy talking, and daddy told me the captain has to pull out. Germans want the ship back for its summer cruise. Well, the captain decided apparently he's going to coast over to Miami. For 5 days, we circled Cuba and Miami, waiting for information. Cubans said, no, we don't want this ship. We don't want these passengers. People are writing to Eleanor Roosevelt, the president's wife, the American president's wife. Finally, we pulled close to Miami again, and we got word that there's no entry here. They said we have to wait our turn. It could be 2 years. The captain promised he will not take us back to Germany, but he did turn the ship around, and we started sailing. We're sailing June 13th, June 12th, June 13th, setting sail very slowly for Europe. Finally, Daddy said Mr. Chopra was able to get us passengers into 4 different countries. We have to split up. France, Holland, Belgium, England. We're going to England. We know people there. Other people know their relatives in other parts of Europe. We're heading to Belgium. It's June 16th. We're close to Belgium. Pulling in. Daddy said I could speak to Mr. Chopra on behalf of all the kids of the St. Louis for my birthday. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm going to be 11. Pull into Belgium, and there's Mr. Chopra. He's coming on board. I'm ready. I'm all ready. Mr. Chopra, on behalf of all the children of the MS St. Louis, we want to thank you for saving our lives. We're very grateful. I wish we had flowers to give you, but the floral shop is empty. The next day, the passengers disembarked. They were going to Belgium, Holland, and France. And I got a box, a present. It's a long box, and I got 24 roses from Mr. Chopra for my birthday. It's my first flowers from a gentleman. They're so beautiful. A few days later, we arrive in England, go to London, and we stay in London for 3 months. For 3 months. Actually, we moved to York. But Daddy wanted to go back to London. He felt it was good to be closer to the port in case our number came up early. And a war was starting. The world was going to war against Hitler. I started school. They changed my name to Elizabeth. Lisa's not a good name to have in England. After 3 days of air raids and bombs and loud noises, the whole felt like feels like the world is falling apart. They took Daddy away. He's an enemy alien. They took him to a place called the Isle of Man. Daddy was arrested for being a German, not a Jew, a German. And now they want all the kids to go to the country to be safe. Mommy has to stay here alone. They brought us all to the town square. There's a little boy crying. He's only 8 years old. I'm going to go over and talk to Eddie. That's his name. Eddie, it's all right. I'll take care of you. Mommy took Eddie by the hand. I took Eddie by the hand. And he stopped crying. We went out to the country. We stayed with the family. They bought us bicycles. And we could ride and deliver newspapers. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. It's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And it feels dangerous. They have air raids, even here. And they have bomb shelters. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Finally, after 11 months, Mommy got in contact with me and told me to come home, come back to London. Our number came up. I thought, well, what about Daddy? He's still on the Isle of Man. I went home. Mommy told me they were going to put Daddy in a boxcar on a train to Glasgow. And we're going to be on the train too, but we won't be able to see him. We left for the train. It's dark. It's nighttime. No lights on the train. And it's rattling. And I'm wondering, is Daddy on this train? Did he make it? We pulled into Glasgow. Daddy! My daddy was on the train. We're taking another ship to the United States. We leave in the morning. And there were German U-boats following us. 12 years old. And turning the story back to Joel, and my mom then had a family. We went to Germany several times. And when she was 81, in 2009, she wanted to go back to Germany. So I went with her. And of course, a lot had changed when we went to Berlin, to the Great Synagogue. And all that was left were 2 towers and a front. But they were having Shabbat services. We asked if we could come in. There was security there, Russian people. And they said yes. We went upstairs. We sat in the service. We understood the Hebrew. And while the young lady was being bat mitzvahed, Mom started crying. And she leaned over to me and she said, Hitler didn't win.